It's time for Brad Holmes to interview JC. Oh, goodness. That's funny. Oh, rad, man. So you know how you buy those little powder things, right? The little, like for your drink, the powder sticks, the flavor. Oh, no, your thing's not working. I got you. Okay. There it is. Here's the YouTube thing. Man, I don't know what's... I hate Bing, bro. Yo, why do they got extra stuff all over the screen, man? My whole right side of my screen is just like random tasks. And I don't even know what they are. I've never seen this before. I got a tree. It says E-Tree. Right, what do you know about E-Tree, man? Should I...
Yeah.
Yo, Rad, what you know about E-Tree, man?
Who?
My the right side of my screen says Bing. I don't know why. And then it has a little button that says E-Tree. Is that something that I should be clicking on?
I wouldn't click on anything on the
You
right
would
side
click
of your
on it? All
screen,
right.
Dubs.
I will click on them. Okay, gotcha. Let me get the
All right, you
beats
get a
all ready,
virus today, don't me.
I send out viruses, Rad. I can't give viruses, man. We know this. What we doing? Some food, man. You know, a little bit of hot chocolate, a little bit of macaroni with beans, mixing them together. It actually sounds kind of fire.
I don't eat macaroni and cheese.
Little macaroni and hot dogs, mix it up. A little bit of soup in there, give it a little taste, little chicken soup. Hey, we got you, Rad. Hey, no, chat, we got. He said E-Tree. Yeah, man, E-Tree. We're gonna throw up the screen in a sec. I'm just kind of letting everybody fill in here, man. We got a couple things. Back-to-back Rad appearances. Yeah, no, shout out to Rad, man. You know he's out here sitting in the living room eating food. This is why you're here. I'm telling you, we're waiting for the Rad Chef episode, man. I don't think he's uploaded a video like that yet, but I'm waiting for it. You know, every day I wake up, I check my notifications. I get no videos from last Saturday.
Oh, you're a fool.
Rad, come on, man.
Hold on, man.
If y'all don't know, because you probably don't. Like Rad is the thumbnail guy. He's the editor, and he's also the food guy. Right now, y'all don't see it, but he's eating some bologna sandwiches that he just made with beans. So, yeah, like yo.
Hold on.
Yeah, man. He said no beans. That's crazy. What's up, JT? Ooh, DO3. I don't know what that means. I got you. Charles says his stomach is about to be like most. Whoa. About to be most deaf in the "You Don't Know My Name" video. You don't know my name video. What video is that, man?
I don't know.
Okay, man, I got you. I don't know. It sounds like a music video or something. I like this. This is a good comment. Yeah, no. So today, today, chat, I'm gonna throw up my list. I made a top 10 list. I was gonna do a video, but I've been asking Rad if he wanted to do one of these for a while. So I was like, I'm gonna make mine. I'm gonna throw it on the screen. I'm gonna kind of like show it, and then I'll have Rad kind of react to what I put together, based on the moves that have happened so far. We'll update the moves that have happened, and then also I want to talk a little bit of contracts because Rad's guy Will Harris got paid, man, and we love to see it. So I know he was waiting for that one. I think he actually told me, he was the guy that told me that Will Harris got paid. So that's beautiful. I don't even know if we got the right setup, dude. We're just gonna kind of jump into this. I still don't have an intro. I don't even have an intro on my videos anymore. That's where I'm at this point. Alicia Keys, You Don't Know My Name video. Honestly, I don't even know what that song is. That's Rad's lane, man. I don't know Alicia Keys like that. I know, a couple things, but had a good conversation with Iffy during the Super Bowl. I tried to get hot of him if he was going to play corner or safety. You spoke to Iffy, man. That's awesome. He's a safety. That's why Elliott's not back. That's why Elliott's gone, man. All right, let's get this thing rolling. I really don't have any intro. That's crazy. Oh, here we are. Yeah, let me get this. Dosby Gaming. No, that's not. Show headlines. Founder of Creativity Inc. Wait, hold up, Brad. We got a new feature on here, man. They're always updating new features. Last second dose. Let's see what that looks like. What does this do? Man, really? That's your feature? I mean, look, I'm not mad.
That's terrible.
Yo, I thought that was gonna be sweet. Okay, you know what?
That's terrible.
We're done. We're not showing either.
All right, I'm ready. Let's get it, baby. Can you hear me?
I'm ready too,
me?
man.
You can hear me?
What's your name?
Can you hear me?
Tropical Sun there? No, that's Summer. Okay.
You can't hear me?
Who is it? Wait, yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. I'm just trying to get that our little,
All right, well, while you mess with things, I want to let everybody know I did not want Will Harris resigned. So that's not my guy. I'm going to go ahead and throw that out there right now. Yeah, no, I'm going to put that out there right now.
100% honest with that. I really thought I was. You didn't want him back?
No. I would rather have Deshaun Elliott.
Man. Well, that's disrespectful. Can we get a 1 if you wanted Will back, 2 if you didn't? Okay? Because
looking at the contracts, I'd have much rather had Deshaun Elliott.
Well, okay, so wait, hold up. Let me speak on the Will Harris contract because it's a little confusing. Based on my understanding of this is not your normal contract. The details that I've seen like over the cap is wrong, actually. So here, let me break down. So Will Harris got re-signed, but it's a weird deal. So the Lions actually gave him a deal that I guess it's part of the CBA. You can do this. Basically, he's a 4-year player with the Lions, right? That has had no he's never been cut, right? He's been on the team 4 years. He's had no interruptions. So he, as well as Austin Bryant, and I think it was Amani, fell into a category of they could be offered a like veteran type of deal where basically they get signed to like 2 times more, which is like 2.4. I think he's looking at like $2.58 million. But for the Lions, or no, it's either 2.4 or 2. Okay, I got too many numbers. Point is though, like $2.5 million. But what the Lions are paying is basically half of that. They're actually only going to be paying him for 1 season, and his cap number is only going to be. Let me get my numbers correct here. His cap number is only going to be $1.3 million, $1.317 million cap hit. So he's got a much lower cap hit, and he gets paid like double of that because he's on he's got like a veteran discount basically being he's brought back on. Now it kind of locks him into the year because if the Lions try to cut him, it'd be like $2.5 million dead cap, but it's also way cheaper than what it actually shows. So in the books, it only cost the Lions $1.3 million, but for him, he's getting like $2.5 million. So it's good for both sides. It's a weird little like, you know how the Lions do. They always find like these weird little things going on that I've never even heard of before, and they just do it. But I think it's pretty sweet because it sounds like it's great for both sides. And it basically what it does is for the CBA, what it does is it incentivizes the team to re-sign guys that are more vets, but also not just replace them with someone that's younger. So it's good for both sides. I think that's pretty cool. So that's my understanding of it. But the cap numbers that they're putting out there is like $2.5 million. That's what he's getting. But for the Lions, it's only costing them like $1.3 million towards the cap hit this year. So it's not much because I guess his deal comes from the veteran minimum because he's now a veteran. So that's like $1.08 million. Plus you can offer an additional $1.35 million to the player, which is what he's getting. But for the Lions, it only cost them $1.3 million basically towards their cap hit. That was so confusing. I botched that, dude.
You know what? I think you did a solid job explaining it.
Yeah.
But
right.
I still would have rather had Deshaun Elliott. They contracts from the numbers you just broke down seem similar. They're not that far apart. I think Elliott got a 1 year, like $1.8, $1.7 million contract. Me personally, I think Deshaun Elliott played better football, is a better football player in general than Will Harris. I would have rather brought back Deshaun Elliott. I'm upset. Like I think we're having a dope free agency. I like every move we're making. I want to touch on this Montgomery and Jamal one in a little bit too. But I think Deshaun Elliott was a tone setter, man. He made plays. I just think he's a better football player than Will Harris, and I'd much rather have Deshaun Elliott over Will Harris, especially after seeing what the Dolphins got him for. It's like, bro, they took advantage of Deshaun Elliott.
Well, here, can I? Okay, I want to say something.
Man, I'm upset. Brad, I gotta been doing this thing, man. But let's
make sense of this though. let's make sense of this though, because I get what you're saying and you're making a lot of sense, but let's look at from both sides though. Just thinking out loud here. I don't know the Dolphins roster totally, but I got to think to what Charles is saying here from his perspective. It could have been a situation of I believe if he's going to be safety, I think you do too. I think that's why they did it because last year would have made sense to put him at corner. Like it was like we could do this. We really don't have a number 2 at this point. It made sense if they thought of him as a corner to let him go back to corner last year, but they were like he's a safety. So my thing is he's probably looking at the Lions situation saying that's what if he's going to be. Tracy's locked up for 2 more years. And then you also have Kirby now, rookie deal, 3 more seasons. He's not going to lose his starting spot. So I think for him, he would have been battling with Iffy for time. And as the number 3, I don't know about Miami's situation, but I got to think maybe he's got a shot to go there and start. Maybe I don't. Do you know?
I don't know the safety. Honestly, I'm with you. I don't know Miami's safety situation. I know they got some corners down there, but
yeah,
still, I don't know.
Let me see.
It's upsetting. It's really upsetting to see that Deshaun Elliott got signed for pennies, and I think he's a dope football player.
Yeah. Well, hey, when you called me and I say, hey man, you got to remember, Lions did bench him last year, and I know we both were like, why did they bench him? Because he came back in that game. Unfortunately,
the chat's saying his shoulder's done. The chat just said his shoulder's completely done. Somebody was saying his shoulder was completely done. JT's massive.
Oh, for Elliott?
Yeah, so that's why the Ravens got rid of him. Injury prone. I get he's injury prone, but when he was on the field,
he was pretty healthy for us, though.
And I think he's better than Will Harris all the way around. I'm sorry.
Wow.
I know that's your guy. I know you always sticking up for Will Harris, but I'm not going to be the one to sit here and say that Will Harris is better than Deshaun Elliott because it's not true.
I got you. Okay, no, that's fine. Here, okay, let me give you some numbers though. These aren't like supporting Will Harris. These are just numbers that I came across today. I did some numbers on Will Harris just to give some background. So Will Harris was kind of like an outside corner to start the year, but he didn't play a ton there. There was really only 2 games, which was really Washington week 2. He was like an outside corner, and I thought that was maybe his best game of the year. He gave up 3 receptions on 6 targets. He had the interception. He earned his highest coverage grade on the outside, 73.2. I thought that was his best game maybe of the season. At least out wide it was, because then he played a little bit there against the Patriots. He was fine, but he just didn't play a ton. It was only like 14 snaps. But then what we know is Mike Hughes, who was our slot, went to outside, and I thought Mike Hughes was better on the outside. Will Harris then went to slot from like week 8 on. He was kind of that for us. And in that span, he allowed 35 receptions on 49 targets, which is 71%, 390 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. I don't know what he would have graded out there, but I know on the season, PFF gave him a 66.9 coverage grade and a 54.9 against the run. And on the season, they're saying he allowed a 107 passer rating, 41 receptions on 58 targets. Now, for me, based on, because I've talked to you in this, like the moves that we've made, like right now at corner, we have Will Harris under contract for 1 more season. I don't think there's any shot he's going to get cut because it's just the dead cap doesn't make sense. Cameron Sutton, we know he's locked for multiple years. He's one of the only guys that are. Emmanuel Mosley's got to prove a deal. I don't think he's going to get cut this year. We also have Mac McCain. We'll see on that one. Jeff Okudah's got 1 last year unless his 5th-year option's picked up. Jerry Jacobs, this is his last year, and he's a restricted free agent. And then Chase Lucas, who I thought maybe there was a shot he would start at slot for us this year, and I'm not saying he won't make the team because he has versatility, but Jerry Jacobs, Chase Lucas, Mac McCain, all could definitely be cut. I don't think Jerry's going to cut. I don't want him cut. But my point is, like, financially, you could actually really easily move on from those guys. But I think Chase Lucas is now in a really weird spot, and I don't think I wouldn't say it would be shocking if he was, because of the fact that last year, when you're making that transition of, even though he was a rookie, when you were trying to transition between Mike Hughes to Will Harris, you could have given Chase Lucas a look, and they never did. So, like, to me, it could have been a situation of them kind of like tipping their hand how they felt about it. And I feel like Cam Sutton's going to play a good amount there and kind of take over that role. I wouldn't be shocked if he does. And Will Harris, we know, can compete at that spot. So I don't know if Chase Lucas is really going to make the team this next year. I wouldn't be shocked if he doesn't make the team based on what we're seeing now, because I still think the Lions are going to draft a corner pretty high once we get into these needs. Let's see.
I gotcha.
My man Carlos. Shout out to Carlos with the 10, man. I appreciate you. Carlos Walton. Brad, who is that, man? That looks like a TV or a movie character there. Or maybe that's a video game. I don't know. Do you know who that is? I don't know what that is.
No, I can't tell. Jalen Carter
Okay,
just got sent. He just got 12 months probation,
12-month probation. Okay,
and I think
that
a
or where
thousand
you?
dollar fine. He has to take a driving course.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, I mean, we got to talk about that situation too. We're gonna talk about that because someone brought it up earlier. But he said, "Who's the sixth pick now?" Rad, I'm gonna put you on the spot, man. If you were betting, if you had to put money on who you think is the most likely pick at six, who would you bet on at this time?
Uh, who do I think we're gonna pick, or who do I want?
Who would you bet on that you think would be the pick? And then you can give me who you want to if you want.
I don't know. I mean, that's hard. Oh, that's hard. I think it's gonna be Jalen Carter.
That's your prediction as of now.
Yep.
Okay. And is that your other
Mm.
who you want to? Because you brought that up. You were the one that put yourself in that spot, man. So you
Who I want is
yeah.
Jalen Carter. There's three people there I want: Jalen Carter, Will Anderson, or I'll take Gonzalez.
I want to touch on the Carter thing real quick before we get to, man, I'm missing a lot of chats. I'll get
Either
to
one of
this.
those I'll take, and I'm happy if we take Carter, and we should land one of them, obviously, Gonzalez, or I'll take Will Anderson. I think Will Anderson would be a nice addition to the squad too, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was actually watching him and a little bit of Wilson this morning. Quick thoughts on Carter though. I just want to talk like aside from the film stuff, just the off the field stuff that we know of. So we know the pro day didn't go well. At least that's what it seems like. Now I hear a lot of the headlines like, oh, this is gonna kill us. Like we know that teams don't put a lot of stock into a dude's pro day. All right. It's not that's not what they're putting the most stuff in. Probably more so like them just talking to him because he still didn't meet with teams at the combine. So what happened was, if you don't know, at the combine, the two misdemeanor warrants were put out for his arrest, and you're saying right now that he's on probation for a year, or would you say 12
Mm-hmm.
months? Yeah, 12 months.
Yeah.
So that happened at the combine. That was released. So he didn't actually speak to the media because of that. He did meet with teams. I guess when he like paid bail, he did meet with teams at that time. He didn't do any events. So then we know now at the pro day recently, what just happened, he did work out at his pro day. He didn't do any measurables like 40 time agility, like timing drills, but he did go through some of the, like the pads and stuff. It didn't look great when you watched
Looks
it. He also
terrible.
came,
It looks
look.
terrible.
They said he also didn't finish because of cramps, is what they said. It looked
He's out of
terrible.
shape.
He did look out of shape, and he came in at 9 pounds heavier, which I'm sure you heard. 314 is what he was listed at combine. 323 is what he listed at the pro day. Now, I think the biggest thing there is they're going to have to talk to him because I think it's important to remember, like a lot of guys come out of seniors. He's young. I'm not trying to make excuse for him, but he is 21 years old. He's only been in college for 3 years, and also on top of that, that is a really tough thing to go through. That isn't that long ago. So like, I think I do have personally, I have like, was it sympathy for the guy because not long ago, I mean, this was just after this last championship that he was involved in this, even though he was the one driving, but he was in like the drag racing they were doing. And that's why this is happening. And to have that kind of event take place and then at the combine to have that pop up, I don't know what he was planning to do at the combine, but to have that pop up at the combine and then I do appreciate the fact that he's like, look, I'm going to go do some things at the pro day. So all 32 teams were represented there, but then it didn't go well. So like, I feel for him because like, that's a really tough spot for like, he's my age, right? So like, I could understand that's a really hard position to be in, man. I really could. Like, I feel bad for the guy. So that's all I know from the off the field stuff. Again, I haven't found anything outside of that. They're going to have to make, their decisions on how he is as a character. We know how much they put stock they're going to put into that, as they should. Again, I only can speak on what I see of him as a player. I was watching him again last night. Dude, he's still a dog to me. Like, he's an absolute animal. He's crazy. Like, his film is crazy, man. For a dude that's 315, and then when they allow him to like just pin his ear back and go Tennessee, I was like, people can't handle him. They really could not handle the guy. So to me, he's still the best defensive tackle that I've watched. Because I think he's easily projectable just watching his film because like he was 315 during the year. He handles double teams like most people don't. That's that explosive as a pass rusher. And he's young. Like, again, a lot of these dudes coming out are much older. So you're getting a dude that's only a junior that you'd be drafting. And I still think there's things that like you could definitely clean up when he plays. But I don't know. You got any thoughts on the whole situation?
So who do you think is the sixth pick?
I would still say if I was, oh gosh, it's tough now. Now it's tough. I originally thought if I was predicting, I would say it would be Carter. I think at this point, man, where do I lean? I still think I would still lean Carter if I was guessing. Slightly. I don't know over who. Like, because I feel like now it seems super unlikely that they would take a corner at 6 for me, even though I wouldn't hate it. I just think it's unlikely. I think they will, but I don't think it'll be at 6. The edge rushers are interesting. Like, I was watching Will Anderson. I don't know if he's going to be available at 6. I think it's interesting. To me personally, the games that I've watched, I'm just going to throw this out there, and I don't want to sound crazy because I need to watch more, but I do think Hutchinson was a better prospect coming out than Will Anderson personally. But that's not to say Will Anderson is not good. But the Lions met with Darnell Wright, who was the tackle for Tennessee, and I'll give him some credit. Darnell Wright was shutting that dude down. I'm just saying, like, I can see why they're interested because Darnell Wright was locking the dude up. I'm like, dang, man. But then as soon as he flipped over to the other side, right, he took one rep, man. He flipped over his side, went on the left tackle, and he just, like, blew the dude back to the quarterback on one snap. And I was like, okay. So I'm assuming that he's going to be pretty productive in the NFL. And then also, I think another interesting one is the dude from Texas Tech, that Tyree, just because how big he is. Like, I feel like you could put him in a lot of different spots. It's like, it seems like, it's not all there right now. And it's the same thing with Carter. Like, there's things that he's going to have to get better at. But for a dude that's like 6'6", his arms are almost 36 inches long. And when he watched him, it's like, he's going to be a problem. I don't know how people are going to block this guy. Like, I see a lot more of that. Like, I don't know how people are going to block him. But it's still like there needs to be more, development there. And he's not as explosive, I don't think, as Will Anderson. But if I was guessing, I would say it's Carter right now still. And I think now it makes it more likely that he's sitting there at 6 for us.
Right. I hope he is. I want that. We need that to be the pick. We need that to be the pick. Him and Aleem sitting in the inside. Aiden Hutchinson, whoever else is on the opposite of him. That's a D line. We're set. Our team's set. I'm excited going into this draft. We can take the best player available. We ain't got too many needs. We just need depth. What's up? What's next? What you want to talk about? Because I know I want to talk about David Montgomery, how I feel.
Let's do that before we get into needs. But I did want to address this real quick because
my man
said take top O-line if D-line is not there. I don't know what he's talking necessarily if he's talking 6. I don't see the Lions taking O-line high at this point because I actually think the way it's going, Big V is going to be on the roster. And I think also at edge rusher, I think Romeo's going to be on the roster at this point. Like, they've financially made it work where they can keep him around for right now. And I mean, they could still move around Big V's contract, but I think he's going to be here. And if Big V's here, there's no way I'm taking an offensive lineman high. I'm still taking a lineman because we need depth, which we'll get to, but I'm not taking him high because I'm not replacing anybody.
I would agree with that. I wouldn't take an offensive lineman at 6.
You can go on, man. What do you got to say about Montgomery? You're like teasing something here. You got something?
Oh no, I'm just want to get your thoughts on David Montgomery as opposed to Jamal Williams. Who would you prefer? Because I want to know the chat thought. How does the chat feel about the David Montgomery signing over to Jamal Williams one? Because I personally like it. I think he's a more explosive running back. He breaks more tackles. He's younger. He has a jump cut. I think he's a hell of a running back. I really do. I think he's a hell of a running back. I think he can come in this year and easily rush for 1,000 yards with us. Because with the Chicago's Barrows line, he was still doing his thing. But now we're about to give you one of these top tier offensive lines. I think Montgomery's going to blow. I think he'll be great for fantasy football. A great fantasy football pickup. And I'm happy. And we got him for what? Was it $6 million a year? Something like that? 3 years, $18 million. We don't know like the full details, but I think that's
we got the details now if you want me to share them. If you want me to show them.
Please share them. I think that's a steal. Montgomery, I'm with it. I'm taking Montgomery over Jamal Williams any day of the week. I know Williams was a good culture fit. Go ahead.
I apologize, but we got some breaking news. I think the chat just said it too. The Lions just signed Graham Glasgow.
Hey, we brought him down.
Yeah.
Hey.
So Technical Jeff threw it in there, man.
We brought him back.
They're saying 1 year.
I love it.
I 1 year, $4.5 million for Graham Glasgow. Here he changed my need list. I don't. Okay, quick thought, real
I
quick.
love that. He's a
Go
versatile.
ahead,
He can play center guard. I love it. I love it. We brought him back. Graham's back. I like it. I
man.
like it.
I mean, so what? You probably know more about Grant than I, because I don't even know what he's been up to recently. Like I don't even know if he's been a starter or what's going on there, right?
He was
So
playing in Denver.
do you think this is a potential saying, okay, we're cutting Big V. This is going to happen soon. Graham Glasgow is kind of the stopgap. We can draft someone this year, but he gives us flexibility. Or is this is a replacement of Evan Brown because we're assuming he's gone. And to your point, he could play guard center. We needed that because we did not. And I was going to throw this my knees. We did not place the tender on Tommy Kramer. Our only real backup guard is Ross Pierce-Baker, who has not played in the NFL really at all, and Logan Stenberg, who they did not want to go to last year, and it was terrible when they did. That's it. So the Lions needed backup off. They had no backup interior offensive lineman. So is that this, or is this a potential replacement for Big V?
Oh, that's a good question.
Man, I had to do it to you, man.
I don't.
I
I
don't
don't.
know enough about him. I really don't.
I can't really tell what they're thinking. I mean, they're the same age. I think it possibly could be a replacement because Graham Gaslaw has been a starting caliber offensive lineman. Big V can't stay healthy, and his cap number is just it's high.
Hmm.
His cap number is
So
high. I think it's we might have a cut on the way. I really do.
really,
I think, and then we draft the offensive lineman. You could probably get an offensive guard in the second round, a solid starting caliber offensive guard, even in the third round. That's where Graham was drafted. I think they're about to cut Big V.
so my man makes a point
He
here.
needs to take a pay cut like Charles Harris did.
I'm with this could be because of okay, quick point. Because of who's available free agency wise, the Lions cutting a guy right now like Big V to me wouldn't be necessary because unless they're trying to like re-sign DJ Chark, I don't think it's super necessary that they need to create space right now for free agency. But he brings up a good point. They could now designate it as a post June 1st cut, which would be more so for the future, not really helping us now. But I don't think they need that right now. This could be designate as a post June 1st cut, open up more cap space for the future. And then to your point, maybe because quick look, it looks like this past year he played both center and right guard, more so at center, for the Denver Broncos. He's 30 years old. I mean, I don't know, but I could also see a scenario where he's a backup. Like I wouldn't have a problem with having a backup in there, but you could have drafted that. You know what I mean? Like you could have drafted the back. You didn't need to go give a 1-year deal to a guy that's I don't know. I don't know what this is. This is a weird one. Huh. I don't know what to make of this, man. Let me give the quick exact numbers to this because I want to see what the difference would be.
I want to know what's your thoughts on David Montgomery and Jamal Williams. Because I know Jamal was your guy. I know you love Jamal.
Oh yeah.
You sent me the crying eye emoji. So I need to know what you were thinking. Cam Sutton's on TV.
Okay. I'd like to see that. Okay, I'm gonna make one more quick point though here on Big V for anybody that's tuned in. So if they cut Big V, if they cut him right now, which is not a post June 1st cut, right? They would save $6.5 million with about $6 million in dead cap for now. They could do that, but again, I don't think they need to open up a lot of cap space for right now because I don't think there's any big move coming on the way aside of maybe them trying to go get a receiver. But if they designate it as a post June 1st cut, that would open up. Let me get the exact $9.5 million for next year, and only leave $2 million in dead cap. It just wouldn't help us right now. That could make sense. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I could see it. My thoughts on the whole Jamal thing, man. So did you see Jamal's deal? Jamal actually got less than what David Montgomery got.
Yeah, he did. I've seen that.
Which kind of confused me because the report was out there that they said they were far apart on the deal. So I was like a little confused on that one. I was like, they were far apart, but he got less. Maybe it was just the fact that it was a 3-year deal and they didn't want to give out a 3-year deal to a guy that was 28. Or maybe they just thought he would. I personally think, to what you said, I think he is an upgrade from. I've went through 3 of his games. I think he's an upgrade from Jamal in the sense that I think he's more dynamic. Like to me, I think he's much more of a receiving threat. The numbers say that, but also when he's in open space, man, in comparison to Jamal, like you're gonna get much more make you miss than you get with Jamal Williams. Like there's more
Mm-hmm.
creativity, I feel like, with him as a back. Now that said, like there were times where I was like, oh, okay, like there was yards that were to be had. Was like he, you like for me when I watched Jamal, I never felt like he wanted to bounce. He was like never looking to get outside. It was like if it's there, I'm taking it and we're leaving it at that. For Montgomery, there was almost occasions where I felt like there was yards that could be there, but he was almost looking for sometimes even the bigger play. I didn't get that with Jamal, but I think when you talk about like the full package, being younger, much more, creativity, like being able to make guys miss. I think the contact balance much better as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just has more receiving production. So to me, I think it's legitimately outside of what Jamal brought for the locker room, which stinks that we're losing that. I think you could definitely say that this is an upgrade. I think it's an upgrade. I think the Lions were really looking at saying, man, if we're going to give out a 3-year deal, let's get better at this position. And I love the fact, I think I told you this, I love the fact that they're getting proven running backs because they know the importance of having the run game, and banking on a rookie, you don't know what's going to happen. At this point, you can't bank on saying, hey, Swift is going to be healthy, so we can just go get a rookie, because we don't know that at this point. We don't know what it's going to look like from game to game. But this feels like just super reliable, and we know what we're going to get. And it's great because for a long time we didn't have a run game, and now the Lions are putting so much emphasis in it. I love it.
Right.
It was, how hard it was bro. Every year we were worst team in the league rushing, and sometimes it wasn't even close. Like we would average like 70 yards a game. We never had a 100-yard rusher, and now I love the fact they're keeping the emphasis on let's make sure we can continue to run the ball. So I actually have no problem with it. I'm here for it. Actually, I think they aimed at an upgrade with this.
We're winning. We're winning right now. I love it.
We're winning free
I'm ready for
agency.
the season.
How would you
I'm
grade
ready.
free agency so far, man? I was gonna ask you that.
As a whole, or you want to go through like player through player? We reach like.
I mean, you can't. I was just thinking from a whole,
From
view.
a whole, I'm gonna put us A-, B+.
Okay.
I think I like AA. I like Alex, but I think I don't know signing him to like a 3-year. I'm sure it's probably like a void year somewhere in there, but I think we probably overpaid a little bit for Alex Anzalone. I think that was a little bit too much. He deserved to come back. Don't get me wrong, but I just think the price point was a little too high. I love the Montgomery pickup. I love the Sutton. I love the Mosley. I think we're doing a great job right now because cornerback was a need, and we went out and got 2 solid corners. Put one on a prove-it deal. Put another one on and tied him up for 3 years. I like that we went and got Graham Glasgow. We were just talking about that the other day when he was alive. Like bringing Graham Glasgow, he's back, bring him back. So bringing him back was huge. I don't like the re-signing of Matt Nelson. I think that was terrible. I want him off the Detroit Lions. Matt Nelson's garbage, bro. Like he's terrible. So I don't understand that one. Will Harris, after you broke down the numbers, like yeah, it's cool, but I still would rather have had Deshaun Elliott. I want DJ Chark back. I think if we can get DJ Chark back, I'm happy. I like the re-signing of Bugs. I think he deserved a contract, but I want Chark back. I really do. I think having Chark back would be nice because now we got J-Mo. I know J-Mo's going to cut into some touches, but just to have Chark on the other side, that's huge. Backing up safeties even more because now you got 2 outside receivers you got to worry about. I know we focus on run because we're going to do that to you as the Lions, but you still got 2 burners on the outside you need to watch out for. So I just think game plan wise, having him out there on the opposite of J-Mo would be nice to just have because I think it's going to open up the run game more. I would like to bring Chark back on another prove-it deal, just like they did Alex for 2 years. Put him on another prove-it deal. And that's why. So if we can get Chark back, it's a straight up A. But I just don't. I still don't get the Deshaun Elliott. Let him leave. I love the Montgomery pickup. I think Montgomery's a dog. It's A- right now. A- to B+. I'm happy. Don't get it. I think this is our best free agency year since with the new Holmes era.
Yeah, well, my thing I was thinking about this morning was asking you that is, I feel like especially on defense, I almost feel, to me personally, I think they brought back everybody that they needed to bring back. Like I don't think they missed anybody on defense they had to bring back. I think Will Harris. I wanted Will Harris back, but outside of Will Harris, I thought Isaiah Bugs was a must. Alex Anzalone, I thought was a must. Yeah, and John Kaminsky was a must. Like I thought they brought back all the key players on defense. I don't think there was. I really don't think that. Can you think about it? I don't think there was a guy on defense that they didn't bring back that was like, dang, that's going to hurt us. I don't think there was a single one. You like Deshaun Elliott. I understand that. I just think for numbers reasons, it wasn't necessary. And then on the offensive side of the ball, I'm with you. I want DJ Chark back. Like, I personally would be willing to give him a 3-year deal. I would throw a multi-year deal at him. I know there's risk to it. I just think when we get to those big games, man, and we know where the receiver market's going, I don't know where his range is going to fall, but when we get to, because I think the vision now isn't, man, if we can get 500, it's like you're looking at, you're going to be in those big games now. So when you get to those big games and you come against a team that's Miami or something like that, and, the Packers or whatever, a team that has a number one corner, and they're going to try to take away Jameson, I want my second guy. I get it, St. Brown, but if I can have DJ Chark it I think it changes everything you can do.
Able to make the big play.
Yeah, so I would give out a multi-year deal. I'd be willing to take the risk, man, just because of what it means. I think when he's out there, I think just changes everything. And still, I don't know what I get. You want to believe in Jamo, but still, it's like we didn't see it all last year. So there's still some
risk. We don't really have yet. We don't really know. I get it. I love what you're saying there. I want Chark too. I really do, because in this receiver market, it's kind of set right now. Juju's got like 11 mil a year. Jacoby Myers got 11 mil a year. And statistically, they did outperform Chark. So I feel like he's got to be somewhere in that ballpark. And didn't he play last year? He played on a $10 million contract, right? Am I
right?
Am I correct?
Yep.
So at this point, I'd give him the same deal. If he wants 11 mil, give him the 11 mil. Because me personally, I think Chark is better than Juju. So statistically, I would give him in the same ballpark as that. He can't be too that expensive. And you're right. I'd get him on a multi-year. Just going to lock him up because he's still young. He's a burner. He's 6'3", 6'4". He made some big plays for us last year. He did miss some games for us also last year, but that's where you have your Josh Reynolds. But when it's late in the year and it's like we're talking playoffs, you're right. I want that second receiver, man. I want Chark back. If we can get Chark back, it's an A. It is an A.
But the thing,
we need
Chark. There's really, to me, only like one must-draft position. Outside of that, it's like, all right, we got to do whatever we want, because it feels like we're drafting depth everywhere else almost. It really kind of does feel like everywhere else is depth.
Well, dude, I would love to get Chark. Starters are set at every position.
Yeah.
Except for that one defensive tackle position. Like where Bugs is, I think Bugs should bounce to a rotational player. But if we came into the year starting Bugs again, I'm cool with it.
You could.
But we're set. Every position's set. Like every starting position is set.
My man said I don't believe Skipper's been re-signed. I think he's still the free. I haven't heard any news on that. We did re-sign Nelson.
They need to not re-sign him and Matt Nelson. They need to tell Matt Nelson we played a trick on you. It was a lie. We're not going to re-sign him.
Well, no. Okay, so Matt Nelson, if you don't know,
he's buns.
If you don't know, his cap number is 1.3 mil. And if you look at it, it
could have been $1.30.
Here's what I'll say though, 1.3 mil. However, he's only guaranteed 150K. So if you cut it, like no dead cap. Right?
He's cut.
So okay, yeah, because I think it's good to have a guy like that to push Obina Eze, because I always forget about Eze. But on top of that, I would still draft a tackle, or I would have signed a more proven tackle personally. But that's where I'm kind of weird with this Graham Glasgow thing. I'm gonna have to look into this because I don't know what the heck the vision is for this. Chat, put a 1 if you think Lions cut Big V. Put a 2 if you think they roll with Big V and Glasgow's a backup.
I don't know. I know I said something earlier, but I don't know what they're thinking there. If all fails, you keep them both. We need depth.
Yeah. We definitely do.
We lost Evan Brown. We're going to lose Evan Brown, and he's pretty much Evan Brown at a cheaper price, probably. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
Evan
I
Brown
agree with that.
Be getting paid here soon. Evan Brown deserves a contract. He played solid, and he has versatility. I won't Chark, Dose. I won't Chark, man.
Look, man, I'm trying to tell
more
people,
and more
man,
I think about it. We need Chark, bruh. We need Chark.
Brad, 30 a game with Chark last year, man.
We need Chark. We need him.
Without him,
I know he didn't.
20.
He came on late. Some games he disappeared, but then some games he showed up big time. We need Chark, bro. Go get. We see what these receivers are getting paid, and it's like, bro, I'll pay Chark that. I
Mhm.
will pay Chark that.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I would pay Shark
I
that
mean,
makes sense.
seriously, like we see what the market is. It's right around that 10 to 12. Bring him, lock him in for 3 years. I do. What is he? 25, 26, 3 years. He'll be done with
Yeah,
us about
I would
time he's
give
29, and we
Julio.
can go from there.
That's what I would do too. I would do the same thing. And then also, Josh, like this is last year. Khalif is his last year, so I would lock him up and backload it like we've done with a lot of our deals, just because we expect the cap to go up, and I just know receiver will get high, and I think this might be the best chance to do it at the lowest price point because, to your point, he missed so much time and his production was like 500 yards. It's like this might be the best time to do it because that first season he's healthy and goes for 1,000. You saw when Galladay got paid; he had like 1,000-yard season. He
Oh
got
God.
18 a year, bro.
Oh
If Chark
God.
is like 11 million a year, I'm absolutely doing it, but I don't know if they will. Um, no, but okay, to the Graham Glasgow thing, real quick though, thinking about it, I would like the Lions to keep Big V personally. Without having seen Glasgow, I would like them to keep him and let Glasgow just be the backup because of the fact that he's played both center and guard. He's only on their 1-year deal. And then I'm still fine with drafting a guard on top of that. I really don't think we have any reliable backup interior offensive lineman at all. Like there's no if we came into a game and Big V was not healthy or Jones not healthy, I don't know what we'd do. We would be scrambling again because I guess I'd put Pierce Baker out there, but I don't actually know what I'm going to get. And outside of that, I have no option. I can't put Stenberg there. I'm actually still surprised Logan Stenberg is on the roster, to be honest. I'm really am. Like, because they didn't even go to him last year. You know what I'm saying? We had him. We needed a guard, and we put Dan Skipper at guard. I was like,
He said, "I
like,
am really surprised he's still on the roster." I mean, he's still on that rookie deal, bro.
I'm just saying, does it make sense? Is it? I mean, I guess. If you don't need the money, I might as well keep him, I guess. But it's shocking to me. It's a little surprising. So to me, like it's a little bit more. $4.5 million would be a little bit more than what we gave Evan Brown last year when he resigned. But I think it's back to the point of if I know that if I'm missing one of these offensive linemen, it changes everything for us. I know that I can win without DJ Chark. When we lost the guard, it changed everything for us, man. So
Right.
I'm cool with if they said we want to get $4.5 million, a 1-year deal, so he can be a versatile backup. I'm on board with that. I think that's one of the spots where because actually what I was gonna do, Red, I know it's kind of thrown everything off now with this deal, but when I put together my needs, if I put it right here, so I listed my top 10 needs. It wasn't every position, but I listed guard, center, backup as a must acquire.
Throw him up.
All right, I'm gonna pull it up right here. I'm not even gonna reveal it. I'm just gonna throw it all at once. I'll show you what I was doing. The numbers are also messed up because I kept moving them around. So don't look at the numbers. Just look at where they're ordered. All right, here we go. I was struggling with this. I was struggling with this a lot. Let me get this up here. So this is okay. Actually, let me go like this. Not like that. Let's go like this.
Shout out
so
to
this
the
is
chat,
kind of. Here we go. Let's just show think this. So this is what I came up with.
Shout out to the chat. Let's get those likes up. Y'all already know, man. Shout out to the chat. Giovanni, you already knew. Look, he read my mind. What's up, though?
Giovanni. I tell you,
up.
Giovanni's in here first all the time. I appreciate you, Giovanni. Yeah. So this is what
DT. I want to draft a kicker. I want to draft a kicker. Y'all can call me crazy. I want to draft a kicker. Go ahead, Dose. My bad.
No, you're not crazy.
And I'm like, I want to use a draft pick on a kicker. I do.
It's not crazy.
I'm tired of losing games because of missed kicks. Like, nah.
No, bro. It's that and interior offensive line depth or even the swing tackle. I'm cool with overpaying for. I really and now free agency is getting kind of thin at kicker. I still think there's a couple out there. Like was it McLaughlin is his name? Eddie Pinheiro or would be okay. You could give him a shot, but the Lions haven't brought back Badgley at this point. I don't see a reason to. I'm with you. We have the draft capital this year with the flexibility we've now created. Even if Graham Glasgow's the backup, the flexibility that we've created in this draft, you have to draft a kicker to me. You have to, man. Because there's one there. You got to do it. So stop playing with this whole backup. we should not be in a mess trying to figure out who our kicker is. So I put DT at 1. Rad, do you agree? Okay, by the way, color code in the right. Must acquire, should acquire, and could acquire. I put DT as our top need.
I like this. Okay, I would agree. Number one, D-Tat. I think we do need a defensive tackle to go right next to Twinkle Toes. So,
yep,
I'm gonna agree with you and say yes, DT. We need a starter defensive tackle.
And it's like to
me, Jalen Carter or I can't ever say the dude's name from Pittsburgh. Kansi. There it is.
Yeah.
No, we do. We need a D tackle.
But the reason I put this at 1 too is because this is the one position. Now we just signed Glasgow. This was the one position where I think for agency wise we can't address it. I don't see a way that we can. We maybe could have initially when it first opened if we would have give out huge money to this. But now there's no way I think the Lions can address this position. Now I'm with you in the fact that, like you said, if Bugs is starting, you can win with that. But if I'm looking at the needs, like that's the one position where I don't think we can address, and it's the one position that would complete this defensive line. I put kicker at 2. You sound like you're on board with that. I mean, look, and this is not by like how much it's going to necessarily take to invest to get that. Like kicker is not going to be a round 2 pick, but I'm tired of doing this dang kicking, It was just like I was sick of what we were doing last year with interior offensive line, and that's why I put it where I did. I was also sick of watching what the heck was going on with kicker, man. We got to just figure that out and move forward, and I think a draft pick is the most long-term solution.
This is how bad I want. I'd use a 5th round pick on a kicker. Like, I'm serious, bro.
I'm not mad
Special
at it.
teams can win you games. I'm just saying.
That's fact. It's like it seems like 4 games a year, right? It comes down to a field goal for one side or the other.
And we're blowing it. And we're missing kicks in the first quarter. And it's like, man, everybody knows that 3 points is going to catch up to us. Man, then you're in the fourth quarter, it's like, dang, if we could have got that 3 in the first, like we wouldn't be in this situation. Like, nah, I'd use a 5th, 6th, or 7th. I'm getting me a kicker in one of those rounds. I'm not playing this year with the dang missing kicks.
My man, quick thing. Rick said, "What's up with Iffy? Iffy to me is playing safety. I don't see him going to corner, and I think it's fine. I think that's part of the reason Elliott wasn't brought back. He's a number 3 safety to me, and also based on what we currently have on our roster right now, speaking more linebacker, he's the best matchup for tight ends that we have. So I think he also has a specific, unique role, which is I honestly think all along that was their plan. I really do. Just looking at it from as of now." Again, they could have put him at corner. Me and Rad were sitting here, did multiple shows saying, hey, why don't we just move him back to corner? He was fine there last year because we did not have a number 2 for a lot of the season. But the Lions were just like, nope, we're keeping him at safety. And I think that just told us what we needed to is like, all right, that's their vision. He's got a specific role. We love to play man coverage. So you better have a guy that can match up with the tight end. And I think that's his role for us. And that's fine. That can be exactly what he is. And now at 3, Rad, I put backup quarterback. I thought the Lions were going to potentially address this twice, like meaning draft one and also sign one in free agency. I thought this was possible. I don't know for sure if they're going to do that. I guess it just depends on who you draft. I still think there's a few quarterbacks out there that are interesting, but they're kind of flying off. I still think Minshew's my top guy, but what do you think about that one?
I like Minshew. Minshew's a dog. He'd be a dang good backup quarterback. I'd love to get Minshew, but I don't know what his price tag's going to be. You know what I mean? Like that could be kind of pricey.
Because of his age.
His age and starting experience. You know what I mean? Like,
here we
Minshew
go.
was doing things down there in Jacksonville for a little bit.
Thielen just said Evan Brown was signed to Seattle. Do we know his deal? If we can find his deal, I think we can really get a sense of what the Lions' vision is for Graham Glasgow. Because if Evan Brown got like 3 years, $20 million or something, Brad, I think that tells us Graham could definitely just be our backup. But if Evan Brown signed, right? Because if Evan Brown signed a deal similar to Glasgow, that may mean that they're going to cut Big V. I think so. I just want to see what Chad. If anybody knows
Evan Brown, I'm happy for Evan Brown. He did his thing for 2 years for us and he got paid. I'm happy for him.
He gets this.
I think he got paid. I don't know if he got paid, but I'm happy he got a contract. He did. He did. You know what I mean? He just stepped in when Frank the Tank went down. Boom. He stepped in at center. Big V goes down. Bam. He stepped in at guard.
Love it.
I just like it. He just stepped in and got his job done. He got whooped on some plays, but he won some plays too. Like, you know what I mean? Shit. Go ahead, man.
Yo, I mean, bro, he deserves a shot, man. And it wasn't gonna be here. I think he deserves a shot to try to start, bro. I think he does, man. Good for him.
Straight up.
We thought he would get it last year. We were shocked when he came back. Like,
Right.
why is he here? At 4, man, I see. This is exactly what you were just saying. I think this one still holds true. I'm putting this as must acquire, and now Chark would change this, but I still think outside receiver, it's lower than like the other few because, like we could roll with Josh Reynolds and Jamison Williams, and I don't think this is something that necessarily would have to be addressed. Like if we didn't bring back Chark, we don't need to use a round 1 or even 2 pick on a receiver. We could go because we have Josh Reynolds with the developmental, I think, outside receiver that has number 2 potential. But at the same time, you can see the numbers that I put across the screen there. The impact of a guy like Chark was huge. And I still do have we still got to see it from JMO. Like we have to see it. And I know where the league is going. And his impact was so big that I'm putting that as a must acquire somewhere for the Lions. And yeah, Cephas is still here. We'll see how long, but he's still here.
Good. Cephas deserves to be here.
Wait, Brad,
my God.
Are we cool with Cephas starting next year?
Yeah. I mean, I got to see what he's looking like. I ain't seen Cephas play him near in a year, so if it's a Cephas from 2 seasons ago, then like, yeah, I am cool with that. Because Cephas was showing how he could kind of try to be our number 1 receiver. But no, I am. I got to see what he's looking like. But I want
out
Chark.
there that Seattle didn't sign him. My bad. They didn't give
Say it again.
It is out there that Seattle signed Evan Brown. I just don't see a deal tied to it, like a price point.
Gotcha.
Okay, man. So I went to see again. This is messed up because I would drop the guard center thing, but the other ones I think are okay. I put should acquire outside corner. I think at this point, there's a scenario where you don't even touch just because of the numbers alone after now re-signing Will Harris. But I think this is one that they still should acquire. First off, I told Rad this and he was like, okay, I want to draft because they do only have one corner that is under contract beyond this year. And I still think, we're not sure on Jeff Okudah. I think Jeff will take off this year. But I think if they're going to do it, they should look for a guy with tools on the outside. Brad, why are you laughing, man? You know Jeff Okudah
because you have so much faith in Okudah, bro. You do, man. I don't know, bro. It is what it is with Okudah. Like if he shows up, he shows up. If he doesn't, it's time to go. Like I don't know. I think I've seen what I've seen out of Okudah. Like I'm trying to give him passes. Like last year was low key like his sophomore year, which it was. But it's like I don't know, man. I don't know.
Look, I'm with you. If he doesn't play well, we got replacements. And he's going to be pushed immediately now. You made a great point. This is probably the most competition he's going to come into a year with because this isn't your Quentin Dunbar. No hate to Dunbar. I liked him, but it's not that. This is a guy that actually can hang as a 1 if he's healthy. So, and you'd already know Jerry was not being moved in and out last year. It was Jeff who was rotating with Mike Hughes, and Mike Hughes isn't here. So Jerry's gonna take that spot from you, man. If you're not balling, we know what he's about. But in saying that, I think Jeff Okudah has the best tools that we have still, or any cornerback. He's got the most upside. And Rad, I'm telling you, he didn't have too many terrible games. He had bad moments, but I'm like, it's getting there. I think he takes off this year.
Okay.
And that may lead to him not coming back because of financial reasons.
I hope he does.
Which is another reason why you got to draft one. Because you need to have guys under contract for corner because they take time to develop usually.
I think we should take a corner at 18. I mean, it just depends. If Carter and Will Anderson's gone, then I'm probably taking a corner right there at 6. And it's probably going to be either Gonzalez or it's going to be Joey Porter Jr.
Yeah. Wow.
That's what I'm taking. But
I mean, that'd be wild.
Or trade back. I'm always open to trading back. But I think we should take a corner still in the first round, even though we signed 2 of them in free agency.
Okay. I mean, okay, quick. I like Mekhi Gardner. I'm with you there. I think that'd be he's just really light. I think he's like 170. Okay. Then I went to a swing tackle. See, I'm with you. I'm with you here, Red. I get it. We signed Nelson. Eze, he's still under that rookie deal. But this was just based out of would I be comfortable based on what I've seen without having Decker or Sewell in the game and then putting the backup in? Would I feel I would not. Based on what I've seen, there's no way I could feel comfortable with that. So I hope that Eze takes off and this guy pushes him and Matt Nelson continues to get better. Maybe we're good there. I hope so. But based on what I've seen, I can't feel good about it. And I think if I'm looking for a swing tackle, I'm saying more right tackle background. Maybe that's a guard that can play right tackle at this point, but more right tackle because I know Sewell will move. I don't know if Decker's going to move. So I want to have flexibility as a guy that can play right.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. What's the inside linebacker coverage upside versatile?
Yeah. That I got inside. I think we
still need a backer. We do need a backup backer. No, go ahead. We need to cover.
That's what I was gonna say. I think, and this one I think is a lot of range. I really think this one could go all the way from re-signing or signing a guy like a Chris Board in free agency, all the way to using a second round pick on this. I think that it has that much room because to me this one isn't necessarily because you're not looking for a starter. It's just like how high do you want to go, and do you fall in love with the guy with tools here that you think could be the future, or do you just say we don't love a guy, we're kind of getting just another a piece that can be more of this, that can replace what we lost on special teams. We don't have Josh Woods back, one of our best special teamers, and Chris Board was one of our biggest special teamers as well. So I think you at least have to find that replacement. Then it's do you fall in love with the guy that you think could actually be here long term? Because you're not drafting a round 2 guy that you're like he's our coverage guy. Like you're not doing that. If you're drafting linebacker round 2, he's going to be the guy going forward. So if you fall in love with that guy, that's fine. I think that Simpson fills that role, but at the same time, I think that one could be a large variety, but regardless, I think somehow they have to address that. Cool. Oh man. Okay. We got the numbers are number 9. This one we're just gonna say I put must acquire. Look, if they did it, come on, man. Look, we were on to something there. I put that thing in the green, Rad. I'm telling you. I may have sent this to Brad Holmes before he got on here. No one knows. You know what I'm saying? So we on to something, man. What a side. Hey, if Graham Glasgow's our backup guard, this is an A free agency to me personally at this point. And then it's an A+ with DJ Chark re-signed. Okay, there's nothing else they could have done for me personally. Let's go to tight end then, because this one I put in could acquire. I wasn't sure. At the time, I wasn't sure if I would put this or inside linebacker higher. I put this one lower just because of the fact of I know we can win without this. But to me, it's also dependent on how high we address outside receiver. Like if we bring back Chark, I think the need for tight end goes down. If we don't bring back Chark, right, and it's like we get like an unproven developmental outside receiver, we're just not sure we're going to get, and it's like a day 3 pick, then I think the need for tight end could rise because it may just become a bigger part of the offense, especially if you come into a game without Jamison Williams. You might start to lean more on that tight end position, or you come into a game without St. Brown, like something like that happens, tight end becomes super, super valuable. But if you re-sign a guy like DJ Chark or you address outside relatively high or aggressively, then you have Josh Reynolds as your backup. And even if something happened, you would have still 2 really nice outside receivers, which to me would lower the importance of having a tight end because we know we can win without it. I think the Lions should look for an upgrade. And we were talking about this. Lions can get a much better blocker at tight end. I think they can. And I understand they hired Hayden because he can help them there, but they can get a much better blocker at tight end with receiving potential. Look, I like Darnell Washington. I don't know where he's going to go. Rad does too. The dude's huge. I don't know where he's going to go. Like in terms of the order, because to me, he's a limited receiving option. But if he fell a little bit to the Lions, I think it would be a perfect pick for the Lions because we don't ask our tight ends to do a ton in the receiving game anyway. We're going to use very basic routes, and he'll probably be the most dominant limited receiving tight end I think that the draft has probably for a while. And it's a very deep tight end group just in general for the draft. So I think this will be something we can hit at a lot of spots. Like we can go a lot of different ways. You can go round 6 and find a guy that's probably a upgrade at receiver from almost every tight end that we have. He just may not give you both, but it's deep at tight end. Okay. And then I put running back at should acquire. I think the Lions should. Even after this was after the Montgomery deal, I think they still should. I kind of think they have to because here's my concern, Rad. Let me know your thoughts on this because you're a big Swift guy. I know you are. So my thought is when we don't have DeAndre Swift, I know the offense changes. And I know David Montgomery gives us more, I think, just more I don't know what I would call like a more well-rounded game, I think, than Jamal does because I can use him more in the pass game, but he's still not going to replace. If Swift is out a game, we don't have anybody on the roster between Craig, David, Jamar Jefferson that can fill into that role and do what he does. And on top
need
of that,
another
we don't
lightning.
have a
We need another
exactly.
lightning running back. That's what we need.
Agreed.
We need to acquire a lightning running back. I don't know if it's through the draft or free agency. Free agency, I don't even know what free agent running backs are left. Like
there's
who
a
could just
couple
fill that
man.
lightning role.
Hey, you saw Mostert got paid, didn't he? And I had my eyes on a guy like Myles Gaskin, someone that could potentially,
He got
return.
a 1 year, $1 million deal. Mostert.
Wait, for real? Why didn't we give him that? 1 year, $1 million.
The
That's
day
where
you
he missed
said
out.
it, he got
It's a
signed
B.
later on that day. Like
Free agency's a B. We didn't do that.
I'm trying to think what running backs are out there. I can't even think. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm hungry.
Nah, that's the B, bro. We
need
out
like
on
a lightning running back. You are right. We do need a lightning running back.
And that could be a late pick. That doesn't, what was it? Ty Johnson, it didn't work for us. But to Jason Huntley, like it could be a late pick that could just be that. And I'd not say it's gonna be difficult to Myles. I like Myles Gaskin. Yeah, I'm not saying it'd be difficult to replace kick returner, but we don't have Justin Jackson, who was a pretty good kick returner. So, I mean, I think Justin Jackson's still a free agent. I guess you could, but I still don't think Justin Jackson brings that. Even though he was a returner, I still feel like the offense changed. He wasn't a big time receiving back. The Lions didn't put the same things that they put on Swift. I'm not saying you're gonna be able to find Swift, but you don't need to find a guy that's supposedly as versatile as Swift. You just need a guy, to your point, that can just be a home run threat when he's out there and potentially return kicks. I like A-Chain too. A-Chain's a dog. He'll probably go too high for this role, but
yeah, I was gonna say he could do it, but
hey, I like you do that
kid from Alabama too, Gibbs.
If you do those two, if you get one of those two, I think you trade Swift. If you can, 100%. You can get anything for Swift, you trade him that night.
100%, he's got to go. Travis Swanson. Somebody put Travis. I remember Travis Swanson from back in the day.
What a dog. Travis Swanson.
He was okay. I wouldn't consider him a dog.
Hey, chat, let's do this. I want to do this. Who's your favorite Lions offensive lineman of all time? Put the name in the comment. I'm sure we're going to get a lot of Sewells here, but let me know, man. Brad, who's yours? Favorite offensive lineman for the Lions?
Favorite Lions offensive lineman?
Yo, it might be Glasgow though. Glasgow was nice.
I like
he said Ragnar. My man Kobe. What's up, Kobe? Keaton Mitchell? Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Keaton Mitchell would be the exact player for that, I think, Trey. Raiola. Ooh, Raiola.
Raiola did good. Jeff Baptist did good for us.
I'm looking for Jeff the Stenbergs. Lomas Brown, that's a good answer, man. I like that.
Jeff Backus. I mean, y'all, I ain't even gonna lie. Taylor Decker's kind of been solid all through and through. Like
Taylor Decker's my favorite, man.
I like Taylor Decker. Like he's been solid through and through.
I don't know who that is.
Who? Kevin Glover.
Kevin Glover. Oh, you know. Oh, Glover. I said Glover. I don't even know who that is.
Glover. It is Glover. I'm sorry. Yeah, he was a dog back in that Lomas Brown.
There you go.
JD McKissick would be good.
Is he a free agent?
That'd be a good pickup.
That's kind of shocking. It would be. Absolutely. He could be exactly that. He'd probably be an upgrade over Justin Jackson, too. Penei Sewell, hands down.
Lakin Tomlinson left us and got good.
He said Ricky Wagner. Yo.
I remember Rick Wagner.
Bro, when we signed it, though, I was hyped. It was like, we're putting this offensive line together, man. Rick Wagner's in the building, you know. Oh, man. Hey, that was the beginning, though. We had to take our lumps, you know, and then to get to where we are. But we've tried. You got to give him credit. He tried. He was like, look.
Bro, we've taken a lot of lumps.
We've taken some misses there. But I ain't going to blame Obina Eze. I like that. Obina Eze.
Hell no.
That's funny, man. Stephen Peterman. He said North Hated.
Oh, Lord, my phone.
Oh, this is true.
Orlando Brown.
Mike Utley. Hey, bro, where's Ricky Wagner at? Is he still in the league?
I think he's still in the league.
Oh, man, we should go get hit back. That's our swing tackle right there.
I think Rick Wagner's still in the league.
What about
Riley Reed's still in
Cornelius
the league.
Lucas? Riley Reed, he just got signed.
Where
Wait,
do you
was
go to the
Lucas was?
Texans?
Yes, that sounds right.
I don't know. I
Odea
just made
Bushi.
some up.
Hey, Odea Bushi. Yo, Odea Bushi did pretty good with the Rams, man. He did. Evan Brown, I ain't even mad at that one. I mean, Waddle, that's a good name.
I remember Waddle.
No,
He
I
was our
got you.
right tackle.
Yep, Waddle was a dog, man. Rick Wagner reunion, I'm here for it. You know,
Goster Childress. Y'all remember Goster Childress?
I do remember that name.
Goster Childress, right tackle.
Mm. Oh yeah, this
Goster
is.
Childress.
Did we have a guy named Washington?
Washington,
Yeah.
a running
I
back.
don't know. We definitely had a running back. Yo, there's a lot of running backs. I realized like I'm following like remember Tion Green? Come on, man.
Tion Green, from Cincinnati.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
yeah, running back from
Yup.
Cincinnati.
No one say Crosby. Oh man, I kind of forgot about Crosby, to be honest with you, man. That ended so weird. It was like, what the heck? TJ Lang's a dog. It says DJ Chark is visiting the Panthers tomorrow. See, he might get paid.
Oh my gosh!
Hey, but in fairness though, Rad, if he gets a big deal and the Lions can't make it happen because his deal's too big, credit to them. I think they did everything else right in terms of that they could have, like, to fill everything else. That way they can get a receiver. Because now they could take a receiver pretty high. If they didn't have David Montgomery and Jamal left, we were talking maybe running back very high. But now that you've
Well, I
done
mean,
this, you can
what
take a receiver
receiver
pretty high.
besides Johnston? What receivers worked it in the draft?
I don't know that high if there is, man. I mean, I think there's some mid rounds that I like, but I don't know about that high. I don't know, man. I think there's some round threes maybe. There wasn't anybody I fell in love with at the top that I've seen so far.
I gotta go.
Not that would be an
receivers,
outside
man.
guy.
I gotta look
Comp
at some
picking coming.
receivers. Man.
That's true. You could. Antonio Gibson, isn't he a free agent?
For the Commanders running back, I don't know. I don't know if Gibson is.
Never been signed.
I hope we don't
Yeah,
draft Brian Brisset.
I like Wheaton more than Perry. Okay, I want to hit on one more. Noah Sewell. I ain't a receiver.
No, I'm just looking at the draft for. I know. What do you want to hit on? My bad.
Well, what do you watch? Are you watching ESPN or something?
Network.
Oh, okay. I wanted to just show this for anybody that hasn't seen it. Yeah, man. Did anybody see Sutton's presser, man? That thing was so long. I had to stop watching. His answers to each question, it was cool, but man, he answered like every question in like 5 minutes, and they weren't even deep questions. They were like
he turned them into deep questions. They were shallow questions, but he turned them into deep questions.
Man, I'm telling you, they would he would start, it was on topic, and then all of a sudden I was like, I don't remember what the guy asked him. He was just talking. Hey, he was happy though. That's what's important. Okay, here's what I was gonna show. This is
Chauncey Gardner-Johnson still out there. Man, there's still a lot of good free agents out there.
Yeah, they trying to get him back. I heard Slay's going back to the Eagles.
I want Leonard Floyd. Yeah, Slade.
This is
going back.
Kaminsky's deal, man. So we got the details on John Kaminsky's deal. You can see like the other ones, they kind of backloaded it, but again, they did the same thing where you have a big out. So it's only 2.3 mil this year. Next year, it's 6.2 for his cap number. But as you see, they only have 1.2 million that would be dead cap. They cut him after the season. So, and I think this is really good for him because, like we always talk about Josh Pascal, this could make a ton of sense. Where next year I could see him getting cut, and we Pascal kind of takes over that role. We could address it again with another draft pick here, or whoever we draft this year maybe. So I think this is actually a perfect deal for him to give us that out and kind of just push it all back. Because I don't know if he's we don't know exactly where he's at right now. There's a little more of a projection right now. Will our draft choices change? I think we have a big gulf between pick 18. Do you mean are we going to trade? I mean, I assume Lions are going to move the board. Based on the last 2 years, I don't think they're going to sit and not move at once. I would
Right.
assume they're going to move around, especially because, like, we talk about the flexibility they open up, but at the same time, like, again, you're building through the draft, man. You got to be willing to move. And even though they've created it, there are still some holes, and they know how they want to build a team. They want to build it really through perimeter and on the line. So, like, certain positions like DT, which is kind of light early, you might have to move for that. Cornerback definitely could be the same way because schematics are so important. You can't just kind of like wait for any cornerback and be like, he fits us just like he fit. So many corners won't fit you. So
Joey
I'm
Porter
assuming they're
will.
going to move. Joey Porter would fit. Yeah, that's true.
Joey
Hey,
Porter will.
well, what do you do though there? Like, let's say you drafted a guy like Porter, and then you have
They're all competing.
Mosley.
They're
Okay,
all
but
competing. They're
okay.
all competing. May the best DBs get on the field. All of them are competing. Ain't nobody got a locked in job. Maybe Sutton,
Yeah, he does.
but everybody else is competing. Sutton's locked in somewhere. Either it's outside or it's nickel. Then after that, Mosley, you're competing. Joey Porter, you're competing. Akuda, Jerry Jake, all y'all are getting in there, and we're gonna see who's gonna come out on top. 100%. Like, hey,
I'm not mad at that. I actually like that. You talk me into. I like it.
Competition everywhere. We got 3 spots. One's already taken, so the next 2 show up somewhere. That's exactly how I would do it, bro. And I think Joey Porter can develop into something special. Like, he's got all the size and the tools, speed, long, good press. Like, just let him continue to work on his craft. I think Joey Porter could be good. That's what I
like
want.
that.
I want Porter.
I know. Have you watched a lot of Porter?
A little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we still haven't got the deals on the Mosley deal either. We haven't got. I haven't seen the details on that.
Has he signed? Has he officially signed yet?
I think so. I'm assuming so.
And as a Montgomery, like, I want these fools to be officially pinned
Montgomery
to paper.
does have his details. He does.
So Montgomery's pinned to paper.
Have you seen the details on his?
No, I want Mosley to get pinned to paper. All these get pinned to paper. Matt Nelson, if you don't get pinned to paper, we're okay with you done. Like, if you don't show up to sign your contract, it's okay, bud. We're not worried. Your boy.
Man, Will Harris, man, that's the one I'm just excited about. I think it's just one of these situations.
Why do you love Will Harris so much?
Okay, but tell me this though, Rad. Because I said this before we got on, man. Without
You're the biggest Will Harris fan I know.
No, I think I have to over. I feel like I think I have to over like compensate, for Will Harris a little bit, because I think a lot of times Will Harris just kind of gets like, oh, he's trash. Like, no, man, Will Harris, and you know what I'm excited about? Like, we'll see if he makes the team, but because he's probably gonna make the team. But what I'm excited about is seeing him stick at corner. I want to see him stick at corner another year and see what that looks like. Because he's going to be a weird type of corner, but like, hey, sometimes it just takes time to figure out where it works. And I think the Lions started to figure out where it works, but like, there's not a lot of players that I would go that deep into the depth chart and be like, man, he's like the 6th player at this position. But if he's out there, I don't think he'll make a single mistake. Like, he's one of those guys that I feel like would be that for me. Like, every other position, I get to number 6 on the depth chart, and I'm like, I don't know what that's going to look like. But I go to him, I'm like, he's not going to make a mistake. You kind of just know what he's going to be. I'm cool with that. So that's why I like it. And plus, I want to see him play more on special teams, because there's no reason he couldn't be one of the best special teamers in football, man. We don't have CJ Moore. We don't have Chris Board. We don't have Elliott. Like, Chris, I said Chris Board. But those 3 were like 3 of our biggest special teams players. Will Harris played, I saw 36% of special team snaps. He should be on pretty much every coverage aside from field goals. He should be on everything. Yeah, man. That's a dog. I might get a Will Harris jersey, right? Put it up there. We can put it next to your Cephas one, man. We could just.
Are you going to the draft this year?
I have no idea. I don't know. I hope so.
Where's the draft at this year?
Kansas City.
Kansas City.
Looks like they got a sweet setup going on there. Yeah, man. They got like a big fountain in front. Yeah. Are you going to the draft? Is that what you're trying to say?
I don't know.
Sounds like you are, man. You already got the ticket?
I mean, no. I would just have to see how much a flight is and stuff, Kansas City. I wish it was like in Vegas again because I'm like, oh, that's a cheap flight.
Right?
I'll be at next year's draft for sure.
That's true. That's true. That place is gonna be packed, man. I don't know how that's gonna work. I really don't know
I'll
how
be
that's
there
gonna
for
work.
sure.
So many people.
Oh, for sure. I'm gonna be at next year's draft.
What was I gonna say? I'm looking at the chat. What's up, Giovanni? Do you think defense will be better with Bly coaching? I mean, I let Brad answer that, man, because we don't. Because man, I feel like that. I feel like this is something you could answer better because Dre Bly doesn't have like this.
I'm
Like,
gonna let Brad answer that, man. I mean,
like, look, he was
do
a
I think our defense
cornerback
is gonna
coach.
be better because of Bly? I don't know. I mean, that's a hard one to tell. Like, I think we're gonna be better because we're bringing in better talent.
I agree with
That's
that.
that's for sure. So I mean, we have better pieces back there. He is an ex DB, a good DB in the NFL. So I'm sure he could teach our young DBs a thing or two. But I think we're gonna be better because we have better talent. I don't know if Dre Bly may coach these guys up, but it's gonna be because we're putting better talent back there. Plain and
Well,
simple, kind
hey,
of like our offense. First year of Campbell, our offense was terrible. Second year,
true.
we got pieces around it. We brought in some things, and we were top 10. Like, I'm not saying our
Yeah,
defense is about to be top 10, but we got better talent on the field.
I'm
It
with you
should be
there.
better.
Because that's a good point. It's like I don't think philosophy wise there's gonna be a ton of changes to what the defense wants to do, but I think the biggest thing is like talent wise, Cam Sutton, and if there's something that we know about Bly, it's all the how much of a playmaking corner he was, like pass
Hmm.
breakups, interceptions. He like he was one of the best at it every year going back to college. So if anything, I would hope that some of that can help translate because if you look at it last season, almost all of the plays that we made on the football came from the safety position. And I know it's difficult to make plays on the ball from man, but if we're going to play that much of it, if we could find a way to just be a little bit more productive from the corner position, because think about it, like we always say that with Okuda. I think he does so many things well, but it's just finding the football, not
Terrible.
overrunning the route. If he could make more plays on the football, man, I mean, everything else looks pretty darn good for the most part. That everything else he's pretty dialed in. He's so smooth, but then it's like when the ball goes up, I don't know what's gonna happen. That things get real dicey with it, man. So it's like
Catch.
if he can, and that's the difference with Cam Sutton. It's why I love that sign so much because Cam Sutton is like proven playmaking on the football, which we just did not have at corner anywhere. We didn't have any corners that were proven playmakers in coverage until now in Sutton. This is what he does, man. So what was it? 15 pass breakups last year. You brought up you said a statistic before we got on. What was that stat?
Uh, 70 something attempts with only 32 completions. And he had a 44% pass breakup percentage. It's the fourth highest since 2016, since him
And
entering the
and
league.
and this is the part I agree with. This is why I say DT is the biggest need, and it really did. Our secondary got better. I think both because we got healthy, and at the same time the D line got better with Kaminsky coming back. But for how aggressive, like it's clear Glenn's gonna be aggressive. Like he said, his whole thing is, we got to play to the rules. We got to disrupt you at the line of scrimmage within 5 yards, be active. So if you're gonna be that aggressive and blitz like we're gonna blitz defensively, you got to be like you have to be able to make plays on the football. Like you can't be grabby at that because the ball's gonna come out quick. The ball's coming out quick. So if you're like unnatural at playing the football, then you just get flags and it's like all this pressure just
Mm-hmm.
working completely against us because he's just gonna try to find everything really hot. So that would be probably the thing that I hope most with him is that he brings that because it's kind of like to the tight end position. We brought in a guy they said basically because he's coached the offensive line. So we want to improve the blocking from the tight end position. And I think that's because that's how we utilize him so much that we don't want to have to maybe necessarily go to Matt Nelson. If our tight ends would block better, be more consistent, great. You don't have to go to Matt Nelson because Matt Nelson ain't gonna catch the football.
Right.
Hey, don't hate the Matt Nelson, man. He's a dog, man. Shout out to Matt Nelson.
Oh God.
Congratulations. No, congratulations on the new deal, man. For real. Like that's
Stop, man. He's
hey,
trash.
that's messed up. We're happy. We're happy for you, bro. No, for real. No, still that Okuda. Okuda was a PBU beast. There you go. Let me see. Lomas after his post game victory dances. Wait, I'm missing stuff, man. If I could send a Snapchat to help y'all get there, I would. I'm poor. Wait. Oh, oh, okay. He's talking about the draft. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, man. I'm gonna look into this one, right? I'm gonna look into this Graham Glasgow thing, man, because I do. That was weird, Marshall. I got you. I don't know. I don't know if there's much to look into, like, because it looks like PFF they have their grades on him. If I can read those off just for anybody that's
Rate them.
interested, actually.
Rate them.
So here we go. Graham Glasgow last season, he played, according to Pro Football Focus, he played 609 snaps at center, 320 snaps at right guard. That was it. On the season, he had 10 penalties, which was the third most in the NFL, five sacks allowed, which was the third most in the NFL. And also, his grades were 62.7 as a pass protector and a 61.6 as a run blocker. Now,
sounds like a backup.
that's what it sounds like. Now, if I'm looking
Which is
right here,
okay.
what it looks okay, but here what it looks like though, game by game, it looks like right guard was his best position this past season. According to PFF, it looks like right guard was his most consistent position this past season, man. Because here, this was his grades in pass protection. Week 1, he earned a 72 as a right guard in pass protection. Week 2, 75 as a right guard in pass protection. Week 3, 62.5 in pass protection. Week 4, 71.4 in pass protection. And then week 5, 67.4 in pass protection. So I mean, it feels like a backup. It feels like a backup. But it also could be, if they want to draft someone. How does that affect the draft if he's a backup, Brad? Just the quick thoughts on that. Like, does that if they view him as a backup to Big V, to be the guy that can kind of replace Evan Brown, does that mean they're going to still draft an offensive lineman?
I think they still should. I mean, because the other backups obviously aren't that good. I wouldn't do it too early, not unless you can get the offensive lineman for Florida, but he has to come in and start. I can't even think of Buddy's name. They got a dog offensive guard in Florida, Torrance. But if not, then I mean, get one in the late rounds. I'd get a late round guard still. I think we need depth along the offensive line. I think we need another receiver, another linebacker. Obviously, we know we want another defensive tackle. And then I still would grab one more corner because our corners we only have one corner under contract after this season.
And that's the thing with guard too, is our offensive line, Jonah Jackson, this is his last year under contract. So there is something to that too. And then I still can't find the deal, but I always think it's interesting how, like, as soon as we sign Graham Glasgow, Evan Brown is signing to Seattle. So these things are tied together, which makes me more so believe that this isn't a replacement of Big V. Because if you kind of know, like, all right, hey, we're not getting Evan Brown back, he's leaving. And they're like, all right, it's basically the exact same thing that happened with Montgomery. As soon as it was released that we weren't close on the deal, Dave Montgomery signs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like it kind of feels like that of as soon as we find out we're getting this Graham Glasgow, Evan Brown's gone. So maybe that's just all right. We know he's gone. Let's go to our next best option. We couldn't come to a deal because he's getting too much. Still, I want to see what this deal's looking like though, because I'm a little surprised it took this long.
Evan Brown's probably 3 years, 20 million, 18. 21 million. You said 18?
That's interesting. I think
21.
You paying him big bucks though.
3 years, 20.
They got some rookie tackles in there. They put together that offensive line. Oh, quick thought though. I want to get your thoughts on Rodgers. Give me like 1 sec. Can you see the chat?
No.
Okay.
Wow.
Give me 1 sec. I'll be right back. Do we have a swing tackle under contract? You're right. You answer this one.
Do we have a swing tackle under contract? Yeah, you're Matt Nelson. That's our swing tackle. He's terrible. He's probably the worst offensive lineman on the team. What's up, Chad? What we talking about? I think Big V gets restructured, and I hope he does get a restructure. We're paying him a lot of money, and he didn't even play last year. Chat, who do y'all want at pick 6? I haven't been able to see the chat. I got a question. Who do y'all want at pick 6, chat? That first pick, who do y'all want? Let me know, please. I'd like to know where y'all stand on who y'all want with that 6th pick. Will Anderson, Carter. Who y'all want with the 6th pick? I didn't hear it, Brown. I guess I'm trying next year. Carter. Cansey. Oh, at 6, huh? Cansey at 6. Carter. I want Bijan at 18. Even with the Montgomery signing, you still want Bijan, huh? Carter. Everybody on Carter. If not, Witherspoon. Okay, there's a Witherspoon. Who y'all want at pick 6? Cansey will be there at 18. Yeah, if we don't get Carter, I would like to take Cansey at 18. Quentin Johnson at 6. You want him at 6? Tyree Wilson or Miles Murphy? I like Miles Murphy. I hope he's there at 18. That's why that'd be my dream pick at 18 is get Miles Murphy at 18. I don't think he's gonna fall that far, but I would like that.
Brad, I got an interesting thought though, because I'm just thinking about that. I heard you say Matt Nelson's probably the worst tackle. I think that's what you said, so that's tough. I was like, dang, man, okay. But I thought that was the perfect question to give you. But I'm looking at these cap numbers, right? So Big V's cap number is basically 12.5 million, which is high. And I know we talk about we would like to maybe get a pay cut there, but it's still in the range. It's basically in the range of Brandon Sheriff, Zach Martin, James Daniels, Chris Lindstrom, who just got like a huge deal. It's a little bit less than Lindstrom. Wyatt Teller. I'm not saying that he's necessarily on their rate, on their level, but if you look at 2024 and you look at where some of these cap numbers are going, right? Brandon Sheriff's looking at 24 million a year. Zach Martin's looking at 23 million cap hit. Teller 14 million, and then there's Big V. So I'm just like, it's still high. It's still high, but the more I think about it, I don't think we should cut Big V. I really don't. I don't think it's smart to cut Big V. I would like, still get the pay cut, but if we came in with Graham Glasgow, right, and we try to draft somebody and it doesn't work, you're going to regret that quick,
expensive.
Man.
That's a lot of money, man.
When he was healthy, and I think that's why you do it, because like, okay, he's coming off an injury. So you kind of have like your security blanket there with Graham, because he plays right guard, not left guard. He plays right guard. But when he was healthy in 2021, he was pretty darn good. He didn't allow a single sack that year. I don't know, man. I'm just saying, I don't think I would do it. I don't think I'd play with it, man. I think I'd just keep him around. We're gonna be all right. Because what, quick point to that though, just make sense of it. Like, so I talk about post June first cut and how that's a possibility because it would open up money for next year. However, if you just kept Big V, I believe, if I look at his contract, if you kept Big V for this year, because he is under contract next year too, because like we said, Jonah's not under contract, so we could be replacing a lot next year if you cut him now. But the biggest thing is that if you kept him this season and next year you came back to cut him as his cap, it's the same, you would be saving that same money. So you would still save $9.5 million with a cut next year and only have $3 million in dead cap. So it's like, if I can just say, you know what, we didn't get a pay cut done, that stinks, but we're going to rock with him this year. And then next year, we're like, it's too expensive, we want to get out of this. There's not much of a dead cap there. It's basically the same as doing a post-June 1st cut. So financially, I'm not in a situation where it's like, well, I have to cut him because I need to open up cap space to go sign this guy. That's why, to me, if it's like, if I'm not going to go after a receiver in free agency, who else am I spending big money on? A backup quarterback? Right. So why not just eat it and be like, look, we got a right guard next year. We're not playing with this thing. Next year we can cut him if we want to cut him. Now, the weird thing to me is the whole Romeo situation. I mean, I don't know what's going on. I mean, we both thought he'd probably be cut. Charles isn't going anywhere. I don't know if you saw yesterday, he got restructured. So he's sticking around, which I think was right. I didn't think he would move, but because of that, I thought Romeo would probably be moved. But now when you look at the edge position, you have James Houston, Romeo Okwara, Charles Harris, Julian Okwara, Aiden Hutchinson. I could still see them draft into that. But if they come in with Romeo Okwara, if he's healthy, I could understand why you'd want to keep him, because you're like, look, he's basically the perfect skill set change to James Houston. I don't know what's going on there, man. I really don't. I guess they're keeping Romeo. At this point, I think they're keeping both of them. I think they're like, look, he's got 1 year left on his deal. He has not really played since we've given him big money. We want to see him play. We don't want to just cut our losses on that one, because we know when he's healthy, he can what he was when he was healthy. He was a dog for us.
He can get after it. Right.
And again, it's like the situation was.
I get what you're saying. I keep Big V. I get the Big V point, but Romeo, I feel like I don't know. I just seem like I don't know the dead cap if we cut him. I feel like we can go out and get a better pass rusher because he's only got you said 1 year left. I feel like we can go get a better
You got
pass
that too.
rusher than Romeo at this point. Like I keep
In free
saying Leonard
agency though,
Floyd. Like I'd cut Romeo and go get Leonard Floyd. I feel like Leonard Floyd. I know Leonard Floyd is a better pass rusher than Romeo. I'm
but let
just
me ask you this.
everybody.
Let me ask you this though. To that point, if you cut Romeo Okwara, right, and you go sign a guy like Leonard Floyd, is he replacing James Houston? I ask that because if you keep Romeo Okwara and he's coming off this injury, you can come in the year saying James Houston's getting a lot of these snaps. We don't want to take snaps away from him because of what he did. But if Romeo can get healthy and turn into the guy that we had, it's perfect. But if we go cut Romeo and then we go sign a different free agent, is he then replacing James Houston and just kind of taking that role from him? Because I think because the whole thing is like if James Houston's not playing edge, I don't think he's playing anywhere. But keeping Romeo Okwara could allow you
Right.
to James Houston to continue a role. If that I don't know if that makes sense, but
James
like
Houston. I mean, to me, he's a
if you drafted
situational
someone
pass
high,
rusher.
he would take James Houston's spot. If I draft an edge rusher round 1, James Houston's not playing that much anymore. He's just not because
Correct.
I'm not gonna take him off the field to put James Houston out there on third down. He could be in a different spot, but he's not taking the dude's spot. Like that guy's gonna be 3 down. He's him. So
Well, I mean, you
Romeo
could
Okwara
bump
at least
Aiden
allows.
Hutchinson down.
That's true.
You
That's
can
true.
bump Aiden Hutchinson on the inside, and then Houston comes from the outside.
That's true. If you just want him as a third down piece, you could do that. I'm not against taking an edge, but James Houston would be reduced, I think, at that point to just being a third down player.
Right, 100%. You're right.
Would you be?
I
Would
mean,
you
we
do
got
that?
to. I want Leonard Floyd, man. I do. I like Leonard Floyd, bro. He gets after it, and he can hold against the run somewhat decent. Like, I don't know.
It's a weird. I don't know, man. Okay, I want to get your thoughts on because I'm looking at the edge rushers right now. I don't know if all these guys are available, but yeah, Bud Dupree just got cut. We saw that. I wouldn't go that way. Leonard Floyd, yeah, he's probably maybe the best one out there. Is Yannick available? I mean, like, I don't think I would sign many of these guys, but I'm with you. Leonard Floyd's a dog. Now, the Clowney thing was a mess. How that ended. When you look at the Rodgers situation, I know you said you pay attention to all of this. You're like, you said with the NFC North, like I pay attention to all of it because it affects us. For me
Right.
personally, it sounds like he's going to the Jets. If you didn't know,
Good.
it sounds like he's going to the Jets. Just what's it gonna take? I almost would prefer him just to stay in Green Bay because I actually think it's better for us because they have to deal with it. They have to deal with the money. They have to deal with it. But they trade him, they're going to get draft picks, and then they'll be able to just move forward. And it's like, oh, we can build a team again. I think with Rodgers, they were kind of stuck. And I thought it was kind of funny because he wasn't good last year. He wasn't that good last year. Like, Goff was better than Aaron Rodgers last season. Like, no matter what you think he was. And when he played us, he was trash. If we're being real, he was trash last year when he played us. And I don't think there would have ever been buy-in. You know, it wouldn't have been like this year he's come back like, okay, now this is my year where I come. Like, he didn't care. That dude was checked out as now he's going to have some buy-in with the Jets. I'm not saying I think Love is going to be Rodgers, so either way it's fine. But I didn't have an issue with Rodgers sticking there. I would have been cool with it. I thought it was kind of funny. I mean, I like beating him too, so that felt good. You got thoughts on that?
I get what you're saying. Like, if you keep Rodgers, you're stuck with him financially. He's holding up a bunch of cap space, and then you're not receiving any type of draft picks for him. But honestly, I don't know. That's a good way to look at it because at this point, Adam Lazard left. I don't think he was that good in any way. Whatever. It is chaos up there in that locker room. But I kind of want him just to go on and get up out of here. Just go on and go to the AFC, man. I know they're going to get a couple draft picks for him. Green Bay normally drafts well, too. But I get what you're saying. Let them stay. Keep messing things up. Keep that money tied up to where they can't get better.
That,
I get what you're saying. But I'm tired of seeing number 12, man. I'm tired of really hearing about him. He needs to hurry up and make a decision. I'm like, whoever, they need to get it out. He already said, like, he's ready to go. Now they just need to figure it out. Like, I'm tired of it, bro. I'm tired of it. Like, Brady wasn't like this, man. And Brady, you know, he left when the free agency, bam, he joined Tampa. He was out of the cameras. Brady retired. He gave his speech, bam, he's out of the cameras. Like, Aaron Rodgers just want to be on camera. Like, just on camera. Like, you ain't even Brady, bro. Like,
No,
get
I
off
get you
camera.
there.
Like, you get on my nerves, Aaron Rodgers.
But that's not good as a Lions fan because you know how much of a distraction that is? Like, what do we do in free agency? I don't know if Rodgers is going to be here. To me, that's funny. I would like it if the Jets were like, you know what? We're not coming to a deal. And then Rodgers has to come back. Because it'd be a
Oh,
mess.
God.
They have to deal with
He'd
that.
be
They have to
hot.
deal with that all the time. It'd be funny as heck. Yeah, and he wouldn't buy in. He'd just be in the way.
You a fool. He'd just be in the
I think
way.
it's great, man. Yeah, man. Let him stay there, man. Stay there, Rodgers. I mean, look, he was terrible against us last year. He was not good. He was not Rodgers that we know, especially in big moments. Like that first time we beat him, we were 1-6. Like that was the kind of drive where you're like, we're losing there.
Pissed. He was so pissed. He was so pissed.
He's throwing it. The receivers running different routes.
It's right there on TV. Versus the Lions. What do you know?
Beautiful.
He was so pissed.
Beautiful.
No, man. We should have swept our. You know, we should have swept our division last year.
Oh,
no, our division, right. The whole division. Yeah. Like we had the whole division.
Hey, if we had a kicker, we might have swept him. I mean, I don't know.
That's why we're drafting the kicker, Bubba.
We'd be in the playoffs. We could be in the playoffs if we would have had a kicker. I think Seattle, we missed a kick too. If I'm right, I think we did. And we lost by 3 in that one.
We stay missing. That's why we're going to draft a kicker. Banks over Ricks for sure. I would agree.
He had a bum thumb. Hey, look, he can have a bum thumb. I don't care what he's got, man. Look, he can do whatever he's got to do, man. Like, it's funny, bro. I mean, look, it wasn't like he was good at all though last year. For being real, he was terrible. He's just in the way, man. So. Because I was wondering on that one because I know you said you wanted him gone. So when that news came up, I'm sure you were excited, man.
Let him get up out of here. Like he's just all over TV, man. I'm so tired of him.
I love it actually. I think it's great.
I can't stand him. He gets on my nerves, you know.
Monty's live. It's Monty. Oh, Montgomery. Gotcha. See, look, y'all can't throw nicknames as soon as we sign a guy. You guys can't do that. I don't know who you're talking about. Exactly. Last completion was Kirby, man. It was great. If he ends it on that, it's kind of depressing a little bit, but for them, it's pretty great for him to lose at home. That's it. I would have never thought that'd be the last time we would have. That would have been the last game we played against him. If you asked me like 5 years ago, I never thought, oh yeah, his last game against you, he's gonna throw a pick and you're gonna win at their house for them to get in the playoffs. Like now, it'd be the other way around. He would have some dumb Hail Mary face mask, and then they'd win the game, and we'd get knocked out of the playoffs.
Thoughts on Miles Jack?
You got some thoughts on that one?
I don't really know at this point. After that, as a loan contract, I don't know if like where's Miles Jack gonna fit into.
I mean, he could be that coverage guy, right? Maybe he could compete for a coverage spot. He probably won't cost much.
That's my only thing. I like Miles Jack. If we get him, I'm happy about it. I just don't know. Like, I don't want Rodrigo to lose his spot, and Alex then I feel like paid starter money, so it's like you know what I mean?
Oh, Alex is a starter. We got our starters, man. But that wouldn't be terrible, you know? Oh, he got picked up?
But is Miles Jack better than both of them?
No. Miles Jack ain't better than both. Brad, you need to stop.
I'm just asking. No, I'm asking the question. Is Miles Jack better than AA?
Oh, man. No, he ain't better than AA. That's why he just got cut, man. You know, if he was better than AA, he wouldn't be there. Brad, look, man. Duracell is, and you know what I've also noticed, man? A lot of these linebacker deals are pretty much the same deal over and over. Like, what is it? Cole Holcomb just got paid 3 years, $18 million. Every linebacker is getting the same, basically the same pay,
the same amount of money.
Like, yeah, it's just like, oh, he's our guy because he fits us or whatever. So I guess it was kind of like your choice. All right, they're all going to be the same price, so you guys get to just pick which one you like the best. For us, I think it's perfect that we got him because, and man, he's young too. And he's young. I always forget, like, think he's like super old, but no, like he's young, and I think he's our best linebacker because he's the most versatile linebacker we have.
Who's this? AA?
Yeah,
he's what, 28? Yeah, he's 28. Yeah, I think he's 28.
Yep. Yeah, I do too.
I like him,
man. I wonder a little bit about the whole Derek Barnes thing and his future, though. because I think Barnes only has 2 years left now. So if Duracell's here for those 2 years, I don't know if Barnes will never be a starter. I would assume then. I mean, unless like Duracell just
Yeah,
falls off a
injury,
cliff.
injury or something.
Well,
All
perfect,
right,
man. We knocked out a lot of stuff. Chark
give
visiting
us
Panthers,
give
yes
us the
sir,
words of
man.
wisdom. Give us the words of wisdom. It's on you. I did it last show.
Yeah, you did. Oh shoot. Okay, hold up. Give me 1 second to like kind of build it up. You know what I mean? Suspense. Like, let's turn the
All
music
right.
down.
All right. Well, Chad, I appreciate y'all having me again. You know what I'm saying? Dose, I appreciate you having me. It was fun. Uh, when we coming back sometime this week?
Yeah, man. Let's you tell me, man. I'm down whenever.
I mean, I'm just gonna go get a charger for my
Let's
laptop
just
and
let's
everything.
just go live as soon as we end this. Let's just go live.
I
Let's go
mean,
live again. No, man. Look.
yeah, I got my daughter this
Um.
weekend. We'll talk.
Okay. Okay.
Whoa, what was that?
I thought you just dipped out. All right. You did want to hear. Um. If you have a vacuum, and you know how like
Oh god.
if you have a
Oh god.
if you have a vacuum and it's a long cord, what you really want to do is you want to find the proper angle to how you're holding the cord because what happens is if you let it dangle, you see what's happening here. So what you need to do is make sure you kind of like give it a little. With that, we are out and
God bless everybody. You're a fool, bro. Get us out of here. Go Lions, baby.
You're still here? It's over. Go home.